everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Today is tornado safety, and I'm Christine Morton, who is the Public Information Officer for the Springfield Greene County Office of Emergency Management. And I have an awesome guest here with me. So, Patty, tell me a little bit about who you are, and where do you spot from, and who do you work for?
I am actually the coordinator for Southwest Missouri Regional Skywarn. We volunteer as Skywarn spotters. We volunteer for the National Weather Service, and our office here is out of Springfield. The warning coordinator out there is actually boss man number one. We are all volunteers. We are ham radio operators, and my role in this, besides going out and spotting the storms to provide ground truth to the Weather Service, is also to help make sure that we've got people trained up that can do this safely. And I don't want anybody going out in the field that doesn't know what they're doing. That can be extremely dangerous. We have people that spot from home. That's perfectly fine too. But the one thing that we have in common is that we have amateur radio. And so another role that I have is in training up the net controls. And the role of a net control is to handle that traffic from other amateur radio operators in the field, to provide the warnings to people that are listening. The public can get on Broadcastify and look for Southwest Missouri. There's live feeds of what we're actually doing from home and in the field, and that during severe weather, of course, and or a scanner. A number of folks have come into amateur radio by listening to a scanner and listening to the spotters and saying, "Hey, I want to do that." That brought me in. Um,
That was gonna be my next question. Is you said it was volunteer based. Why did you volunteer? What sparked your interest in doing this type of work?
I've always enjoyed giving back to the community, and was seeking a way to do that, and listened for about a year on the scanners. I would actually turn down the volume on the TV and watch radar and listen to the spotters and try to put in my head, what are they doing out there, and what how's all this coming together, and researched a bit on Skywarn and its history with the National Weather Service back to 1975, and said, yes, I want to do this. It's a small way I can give back to the community. I can foster a new hobby in amateur radio that goes well beyond just the weather, and and be a part of public safety.
Absolutely. How long have you been doing it?
I have been doing this for 11 years.
Wow. So over that time, I'm sure you've gotten pretty good at spotting those storms.
I have. And funny thing is, I haven't actually seen a tornado since I've been doing it. All the ones that I've seen were before. And maybe that's what sparked my interest in the weather. I was in Wichita during the Andover tornado, actually saw that beast. Long story on that. I'll keep that out of this. But I saw a couple in Texas when I lived down there. So, had damage at my home. When it hits close to home, what can I do to prepare, and what can I do to help others prepare? And I think that's what's the whole driving force here.
Absolutely. And you nailed it there for me. What can people do as we go into storm season where tornadoes might occur to prepare for those type of disasters?
Get a plan together. And talk about that plan with your family, with your friends, if you have someone you're living with. Make sure that you have a safe place to go, whether you're at work or at the grocery store. Be weather aware. Check into the weather forecast on a daily basis, and know if there's a possibility that something's going to happen. As it warms up, people are outdoors. How are you going to get those warnings? Say you live in Springfield and you go to one of the lakes areas and you're camping for the weekend. What are you going to do? How are you going to know? So use your cell phone if you have to, so that you get a warning. I think everybody got a warning today, across the state of Missouri. That's available, but there's other apps. Have a backup plan. Make sure your cell phone's charged. I saw a thing where your boss did a great interview today on having a go bag. I actually have three. I have one that's my chase bag that has my magnets for my car identifying me as a spotter. I have one that has all of our stuff that we take on any road trip. And then I have an emergency kit that goes with me. So, having those things together, if you're preparing for home, have a special bag that you even take to the bathtub with you if that's going to be your safe place. Put your medications and things in there as you go. Um, but I think the big thing is being aware, just so you know. And then having a plan takes the fear out of it. Practice that plan. um, there's a tornado watch out and you haven't done your drill, do it then. When the watch comes out, let's do our little drill so we can be ready if the sirens sound, if we get that warning.
Absolutely. And here at OEM, we are always constantly pushing create an emergency preparedness kit, have that ready to go, put it in a backpack or a tub, anything that you can take with you. What are some things that you put in your emergency kit?
Oh my. So as I said, with my Skywarn kit, I have a book that has the road maps for the state of Missouri, because sometimes the maps on our phone aren't always accurate, or the Google car hasn't been down that road. We have to be safe in the field. We practice ACEs. Um, Activate. Let's see. I'm going to put myself on the spot here, but it's all about safety. And one of those things is always have an escape route. That's the E. So knowing that I'm going down a road that's not going to be a dead end and put me in a bad spot. My personal bag that goes with me on every road trip has got little things in it like Tums, other stomach pills, ibuprofen, band aids, things that we might need that it might be inconvenient to get, snacks, water. And I mean, that's just basic all the time. And goes with me to the car, it goes with me to work. So,
Absolutely. I mean, because disasters strike at any time, right?
right.
They do not discriminate. So what should people do? Say that the warning sirens go off. There is a tornado that is likely to form. What should people do then?
Ideally, and the warnings now are very compacted from what they used to be. I know many years it was a whole county would go under a warning, and it might just be a very small portion of the people that might be affected. Now they really have that down with their technology. They can say it's going to be Ash Grove, not Springfield. They can say it's going to be Stratford and not the rest of us. So if you get that warning, know that you are in that polygon, you're in that actual warning area where you might be in danger. So at that time, grab your bag and go to your safe place that you've identified, whether it be your bathtub, whether it be your basement, out of your mobile home, into a shelter somewhere. Um, you know, it's having that plan, knowing, identify that place that ideally underground, but if you can't get underground, at least in a center room away from windows and doors, so that you can cover yourself and be safe. I heard a great one several years ago, and it's actually impacted people I know and helped them. Wear bike helmets or some other kind of helmet when you go to your shelter. It saves lives. The debris flying around can cause head injuries. Um, if you're getting in a bathtub, my parents used to put a little mattress over the top of them to protect themselves.
I've
So,
definitely heard of that.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, uh, anything that you can do to increase your chances of safety is great in your plan.
Absolutely. And what if somebody is impacted by a tornado and its devastation that it can bring? What should they do then?
Wow. Well, hopefully, one, that they've notified other people that, what their plan would be in a case like that. Um, It's hard to say depending on what community you're in. I know Greene County, we've got a great number of resources. There's CERT volunteers and there's the American Red Cross is awesome in helping. Um, you may not have a shelter identified, but as a part of your safety plan, if you can, maybe identify someone that you could reach out to go to. In that case, having a little savings ahead, you might need to be buying clothing. Oh, in that light, wear your shoes when you go to your shelter because you don't know what you're going to be walking out to.
Mm,
Hard-soled shoes are best, and that way you're not walking around barefoot and, not knowing what to do next.
absolutely. And I just love how you keep reiterating preparation is key, right?
Oh,
Safety is
definitely.
our number one priority in making sure that we prevent the loss of life. Is there any other tips or tricks or advice that you would recommend to the public for tornado safety right now during severe weather preparedness week?
I think I'm trying to pull them all out as we go. Uh, I know that my husband and I and let's throw this out there, my husband and I have identified we don't have a safe place here. Our house is an open floor plan. Our bathroom is next to the room that holds our gas lines. We don't feel safe going in there. It's also against an outside wall. So, um, us being both storm spotters, we're very aware of the weather. If it's coming for us, we're out of here. We will get in our car, we will use our radar and mobile our way away. I don't advise that to people who are not trained. But if that's the best thing you've got, at least get a little bit of training under your belt to know what you're looking at in the sky. If you're in a mobile home out in the country and you don't have a safe place to get to, know what you're looking at, have a route in mind. You know, if it's coming from the southwest, I need to go this way. If it's coming from the northeast, I need to go this way. They can go in any direction. So, be prepared in that light. And it's not just tornadoes. I think we get more damage in this state from straight line winds and getting away from the walls. If it's driving large hail, that can be just as devastating. So, be aware, educate yourself. If you have any questions, um, grab a storm spotter, grab someone from the Office of Emergency Management and ask questions. We'll be glad to try to assess your need.
Absolutely. And I'm just curious, I actually forgot to ask you this in the beginning. What is it like to be a storm spotter? So like, can you tell me a little bit about what goes into that and what a daily life might be like of a storm spotter when they know that severe weather is coming?
Oh my. Well, I'll put myself in a mobile mood here, or mobile mode. Um, to, make sure the bag's got everything I need in it. I will have my boots on early in the day, so I'm not doing that last minute. And eyes on everything, watching the watches, watching the fronts coming in, having the radar up, 3 screens going on my computer. And ready to go. And when things hit Joplin, since I'm in Greene County, I'm on the road. And it's a lot of waiting time. Projecting the path of that tornado, talking to whoever is net control. What do you think? Where should I go? And then we sit and wait. And that's where the snacks come in because we sit and munch and drink coffee while we're waiting. It's a lot of hurry up and wait and then be ready to move in a hurry.
Do you
So
ever, I'm just curious for my own curiosity, and I'm sure other people might too. Do you ever get scared?
if you're not, you shouldn't be out there. Honestly. Oh, yes. Um, I was at, Elwood, one time, and we had a squall line coming in, and, yeah, it's time to get out of here. You know? Um, I was on the road one time, my daughter's also a spotter, and, she and I were out, and, we could hear it coming and just frantically looked for a spot to turn the car so that it hit the car head on. If you're on the road, here's another safety tip. If you're on the road and you see a squall line coming, um, if you can find a spot to park your car faced into the wind, your car's designed to take that. Now, that being said, take cover in your car. You don't want things coming through the windshield at you, but set the park brake, put your foot on the brake, and um, you know, that
Hang tight.
way, yeah, you're probably not going to roll that way.
Wow,
You
that's a really
hear,
good tip.
yeah, news stories where these big rigs are flipping over, cars are flipping on the highways. And that's why they're getting caught by that wind sideways, and the car's not designed to take that.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share that I didn't ask you?
wow. Be weather aware is my main thing. Always be weather aware. Weather impacts us day to day, whether we acknowledge it or not. What about this beautiful day? I heard a comment earlier. I need a dose of vitamin D. I'm going out in the sunshine. Uh, it does impact us, whether in a good way or in a bad way or in a terrifying way. Weather is with us 24/7. So, take that little time each day, if nothing else, pick a channel, whether it be a radio station or whether it be news media. Find out who the meteorologist is, what time they're on, and take that 5-minute break to find out what's going to impact you for the day and maybe for the week.
Awesome. Well, thank you to everyone that tuned in today, and thank you to Patty for being on this our little discussion and talking, giving us such great advice today. You can follow us on all of our social media channels for the Office of Emergency Management. We are constantly updating with weather, safety advice, and bringing great people like Patty on here to talk just a little bit about how to keep safe, especially as tornado season starts rolling into the Ozarks. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.